It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and I will be breaking down Tanner Boser versus Ilir Latifi on the UFC Fight Night Rosenstrike Sakai card. It's UFC Vegas 28. Really good card, actually. I really like the card. Just the main event's trash, and nothing against those heavyweights, but I'm not breaking it down. Go watch my full card predictions on that, and I'll tell you how I feel about the main event, and I'll tell you who I'm going with. It's pretty obvious, though, right? But I actually like the layout of the card. A lot of good fights, just a lackluster main event, but I'm actually hyped for these. And I'm gonna, you know me, I'm gonna watch every fight night card on Saturday. At fucking 3 o'clock. So most of the time I don't got nothing better to do, so I'm gonna check this out. But let's talk about this really good fight right here. Tanner Boser versus Ilir Latifi. Tanner comes in with a record of 19-7-1. He's fighting out of Canada, age 29, height 6'2", and reaches 75.5. Ilir is 14-8, fights at Florida, age 37, height of 5'10", and reaches 75. So really good matchup for Ilir. And I mean, really fun matchup for Tanner Boser. I mean, this is a fun matchup. Both guys had kind of like big heavyweight fights in their last fight. Tanner fought at the time a ranked Andrei Arlovski. I think Andre was ranked, and Ilir just fought Derek Lewis, who's the number one contender for the belt. And when you really look at it, Tanner, I mean, he's fought some good competition. He's fought some top guys. He's fought Cyril Gane, and he fought Andre. Now, he's beaten some lower level guys, and Philip Lins. Obviously, Philip Lins was a PFL winner. I'm positive, right? I might be tripping, but he did win the PFL. He fought Rafael Pazoa. He beat these guys, but I'll get to it. He lost to guys like Siligur Razalov. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. And yeah, man, he hasn't lost to anyone bad. He's fought some good competition. He's been around. He's fought at where is it called? What's the promotion code? Yeah, ACB. Man, he's fought at a lot of places, and he's a good heavyweight. Good striking. I would say probably decent takedown defense. But yeah, man, he's a good test for Ilir Latifi at heavyweight. Now, Ilir, on the other hand, man, he is a legit contender. I mean, a lot of people had high hopes for this guy. Even me, I thought this guy was going to be a killer. Awesome freestyle wrestler back in the day. Really legit wrestler. Has legitimate power. Has real knockout power. First time I saw him fight was against Gegard Mousasi. He came in there as a late replacement for, I think, Alexander Gustafsson. I remember that Gegard had his way with him, the jab. Gegard's one of the GOATs, so no shame in that to lose to a guy like that. He has a loss to Jan Blachowicz, the current champion. He's beating guys like John Vellante. He has, and I'll never forget the Ryan Bader loss, man. That was insane when he lost to Ryan Bader. I was like, yo. And John Vellante, on the other hand, I don't know. He does have a win over Corey Anderson, so I give him that. But man, when he lost to Brian Bader, and at that time he was on a 3-fight win streak, Hans Stringer, Sean O'Connell, and John Vellante. I mean, he got a jump up in Ryan Bader, and Bader knocked his fucking ass out. Then I think basically took a whole year off in competition. Fights Tyson Pedro. I mean, it depends on how you look at Tyson Pedro. Tyson Pedro is one of these guys that has close fights with really good competition. In Oven St. Preux and Shogun, right? But it depends on how you look at that competition. OSP and Shogun are names, but you're like, they were kind of like beat up and not as good, and he lost to those kind of guys. He was winning those fights until he lost, so he did beat Tyson Pedro, ragdoll dominated, and there's never a moment Tyson had a success. Then destroys Oven St. Preux. At the time was top 5 at light heavyweight. That just tells you, I mean, what light heavyweight was, bro. Light heavyweight was not oh my God, it was a bad thing. And he made the top 5 after 2 fights, and then fights, and it was a crazy standing guillotine. He choked him the F out. Then fights Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson, my boy, overtime, man. You can't be a guy like that in the wrestling. He's just one of these hard workers. The only way you beat him, Corey, is you have to knock him out. I haven't seen a lot of guys. Shogun did beat him by decision, but it was a split. There was a lot of knockdowns in there. But no one works harder than Corey. It's understandable. Like, there's no shame in losing to Corey Anderson. He's one of the best. He might become your Bellator light heavyweight champion. You never know. Then, he gets scheduled to fight Volkan Ozdemir twice. Even got scheduled to fight Glover, I remember. And I think he missed out, and Corey fought Glover, and I think Corey ended up beating Glover. But yeah, he ends up fighting Volkan Ozdemir. I think he just fought, a switched-on Volkan Ozdemir. That was one of the best Volkan Ozdemir performances ever. I think I've ever seen. He only got him one. He probably got him down only one time. I swear to y'all, one of his best performances. Volkan was switched on. His takedown defense was good. He was timing him, and he knocked him out in the second round. And it was a really bad knockout. And it looked like, man, Ilir was, kind of on the down slow, But then fights Derek Lewis, and I covered this in my breakdown of Derek Lewis versus Curtis Blades. My first breakdown when I told y'all the boy Derek was gonna get it done. And a lot of people, and even the Ivanov fight with Derek, they use those two fights as a reason why Derek was going to lose to Curtis. And it was crazy to me because people weren't realizing the fact that these guys are actually better grapplers than Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades is a JUCO wrestler. If you know what that means he wrestled in community college. There's no shame in that. I have a lot of deep respect for the JUCO collegiate teams, and they're great guys. Hard workers. They went through the hard road. But, he is not a better wrestler than Ilir Latifi. He's not a better grappler than Bligo Ivanov. These guys were at the top of the sport. Not the very, very top, but they were at a higher level than Curtis at where he was at in folk-style wrestling. And I knew Curtis was more athletic than them, but he wasn't necessarily technically better than them in the grappling. Curtis had a lot of. That's how you could tell he was a JUCO wrestler. That's how you could tell he was a community college wrestler. Like, he hinges. He doesn't use his legs. He doesn't take a proper shot. He doesn't, what I'm saying? Like, his penetration step wasn't good. He was really like running guys over with athleticism and strength. And I knew if you're gonna fight a guy like Derek, you're gonna have to be more technical than him in the wrestling. You can't athlete or over athlete Derek Lewis, because Derek's a good athlete himself. He's former football player. He's just a truck, bro. Like, Derek will run you over. He will, like, literally Derek's get-ups from side control. When Ilir Latifi and Bligo Ivanov, he just explodes. He's a different kind of athlete. And I knew Curtis he couldn't compare to him as an athlete. And he wasn't just a more technical wrestler than him. And that was the truth. And that's what ended up happening. And that's why I think people didn't respect Ilir Latifi, because, yeah, he got knocked out in his last fight, but he's a good wrestler. And he kind of shut a lot of people up with his performance, man. It was a very, very close fight. You could really score that fight for Ilir. When I first watched it, I thought Ilir got robbed. I watched it again. I was like, Derek won this fight. I rewatched it, and Ilir got him down, but Derek had more moments in the striking. And just crazy. He exploded, but Ilir took him, and that was the crazy thing. He took shots from Derek. And at heavyweight, I feel like his chin is better, and at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to become heavyweight champion. But when it comes to these heavyweight guys, it's going to be based on technique, right? Is Ilir the more technical fighter out of the two? And I think Ilir is the more technical fighter out of the two, out of him and Tanner Boser. When I look at the situation he's in, he's on a 3-fight losing skid. Tanner's on a 1-fight losing skid. They're not that different in reach, so I don't think it's going to play a factor. Tanner, he has really fast hands against really slow guys. I don't think Ilir is that. He's trained with guys like Alexander Gustafsson, Jimmy Manuel, really fast hands. So I don't think Tanner's going to show him something he hasn't seen. It's just, only thing is, can Ilir get the takedowns, and will he get the judges' respect? That's where I feel like this fight comes down to. I think that's one way I can see Tanner winning. I think if Tanner's more active with his jab, the fight with Andrei Arlovski was very close. He just kind of got outworked, right? But he was doing good. It wasn't like he was like bad. He has a good mullet. I'll give him that. But at the end of the day, if he can outwork Ilir Latifi, and because the thing is, wrestling in MMA and wrestling in folk style wrestling or freestyle wrestling is scored kind of differently. You get a takedown and somebody's butt hits the floor, but if they get up immediately, the guy that took him down gets 2 points, but the guy that in folk style, right? The guy that gets back up, he gets a point, right? But really, it's the guy that got the takedown, so he's still in the lead. In MMA, I've noticed if you take somebody down and they get back up, you don't get no points for that. It's like, if you control the guy for a certain amount of time on the ground, then you might get the round. it's how you look at it. Like that second round with Davis and Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno, DC gave the round to Figueiredo because of wrestling, and he got him down a whole bunch. But people gave the round to Davison because of the striking, and he didn't really have a lot of control on Davison, and that's why. And it's kind of like how you score it. And some judges, if you can control the guy on the ground for the whole round, you'll get a 10-8 round. So these are big things for Ilir Latifi, and this is how I feel like you kind of have to look at this fight. It's really dicey in terms of who are people going with. I actually want to see on Tapology. Yeah, 71% is going with Tanner Boser, and 29% is going with Ilir Latifi. So I think people are looking more or less like Ilir might, like he might get takedowns, but they think Tanner's just going to outwork him. That's what I feel like the consensus is. I think a lot of people are picking by decision. I'm going to take the dog here. I think Ilir Latifi has fought better competition, is a vet in this game. Yeah, he's 37, so he's somewhat past his prime, but I think he's in a new prime. I don't think he's past necessarily his athletic prime. I think he's in a new prime, and I know that might sound weird, but like I feel like when you go up to a different weight class, and this is just a theory of mine, in my humble opinion, I think if you go to a different weight class and you start, let's say you're 205 and you go up to like, how much did he weigh his last fight? Let me see. Yeah, 245, right? 246. He weighed 246. He went from 205 to 246, right? That's a big jump in weight. I feel like he's kind of a different guy. He's not the same guy that fought at 205. He's a different kind of fighter. And he's still gassed. He looked like he was tired, right? I will admit that. But he looked like he had more strength in the takedowns. He looked like a better wrestler. He had more control. Obviously, it's a different opponent. But... And, I will be honest, Tanner Boser is a very agile, not light heavyweight, but heavyweight. And a lot of people have mentioned and, told him he should go to light heavyweight. He said, nah. So really what it comes down to is that I think we're going to see a different kind of Ilir, a new era of Ilir Latifi. I might be tripping here, and I know I could get this wrong, but I actually do think Ilir Latifi gets this done by decision, and I'm picking Ilir Latifi. I think he will win this fight. I think he's just... I think he's just a better fighter overall. I really do. Tanner is just, he might be the lighter guy, and he might have to use his speed, and he's a younger guy, and he's in his prime. He's going to have to use that against Ilir, but I think Ilir's experience against top-level guys, I think he's been in there. I think he main evented against Gegard. I might be wrong on that, but I think that was the main event, right? And his experience against guys at the top 5 of the light heavyweight division, and Corey Anderson, I think it's going to give him a different kind of experience. He's fought guys like this, kind of taller, rangier. I think I'm going to Ilir Latifi by decision. I gotta take the sledgehammer in this one. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions. I will be doing more breakdowns. I got a breakdown, I'll tell y'all right now, coming for Ponzinibbio versus Miguel Beza, Walt Harris versus Marcin Tybura. And is that it? Oh, yeah. And my boy, Makwan Americani versus Nate Landwehr. These are the breakdowns I will be doing for this card. So you guys got a video, at least from me, every day out of the week, or 4 days out of the week. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love y'all and goodbye. Do not forget to follow me on my Instagram. If you made it this long, follow me on my Instagram. Follow me on my Twitter. All those links will be down below in the description box. What else? Oh, yeah. Like, comment. If you're new, subscribe, obviously. Share this video. Go click that notification button. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing, y'all. Love y'all, and goodbye.